Resume. And we are gonna get started. Okay. There you
There
go.
you go. Okay. Hi. I'm Zoe, and my internship is at Windrush Farms. This is just the table of contents with everything listed about what I'm going to go over for this presentation. Um, yeah. Okay. So Windrush Farms and its mission. Windrush Farms is a supportive hands-on program. It helps individuals with mental health challenges, those in recovery from addiction, and people in physical rehabilitation. It helps them build independence in a safe, structured environment. Um, Participants take part in daily routines, therapy, and skill building activities that focus on recovery and personal growth. And the main focus of Windrush Farms is horse therapy. It's horse riding, petting the horses, feeding the horses, a lot of horse related activity. It's really fun. Um, um, but it's not like the primary focus. There's a lot of other stuff to do on Windrush Farms. This is just the most exciting bit.
Mhm.
Mhm. So the population at Windrush Farms, um, it's it's for everyone. There's not necessarily a specific target, but it is known for its like um therapy related activities. So it is um often encouraged for adults and children with mental health complications, physical, cognitive, and emotional challenges, also those recovering from addiction, um, just to try like a new out of the box strategy. Yeah, and then the staff roles. There's the riding instructors for the horses. There's the barn managers and the people that help to like take care of the horses, clean up the barns, manage any other animals or barn related activities around the farm. And then there's other volunteers that help with other activities that don't necessarily involve the animals or outdoor activities. Um, and then there's coordinators that like help everything flow, help the programs flow, keep track of everything, keep track of like the progress reports, update any information. Yeah. So this is my supervisor. Her name is Janet Nittman. She is the CEO of Windrush. She's been working at Windrush since 2016. She's very, very proud of Windrush and its mission. During our interview, she repeated how proud she is of Windrush. She loves the horses. She loves like everything that Windrush represents, and she's a wonderful person. Yeah. Okay, my role. My role at Windrush Farms is to keep the documents organized. I work remotely for the most part. Um, yeah, I work remotely for the most part. So my job has been to keep track of the client's progress reports. So I will get both old progress reports and new progress reports, and then I have to organize them, whether it's by name or by year or however I'm assigned, and then I have to send it to a number of other managers on site, and then that helps them like keep track of the progress of the participants, of the clients, so that it's easier to figure out like what their next steps are, figure out whether um like they're done with the programming or whether they should try a different type of programming. So my role is small but helpful. Yeah. Why this internship? I found just the idea of Windrush Farms really interesting. My brother is on the autism spectrum, and I am from New York, and it was really hard finding programs that like worked for him. And like we had to like look really like long and hard for like out of the box stuff that really helped him develop in the way that he was supposed to be developing at his age. So finding out that like Windrush Farms is really um they really emphasize the idea of like out of the box therapy, like horse therapy, and not just making it about like people in need of support, but making it an activity that everybody can enjoy. I thought was really exciting because it's a great way to build community while still supporting those that need the extra support. Yeah. Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, next we have Shay.
Okay. Hi, my name is Shay, and my internship site is at Franklin Elementary School. It's right down the street, not even 5 minutes. So, yeah. Some information in their mission statement. So, it's located in North Andover. It's children's from grades 1 to 5. Staff roles. The school includes a variety of staff, such as the principal, teachers, guidance counselors, PE teachers, special ed staff, and support staff who all work together. Their mission statement: the mission of North Andover Public Schools is to cultivate a respectful community of engaged learners, insightful thinkers, and effective communicators. So working at the school, I have like one main supervisor, but I kind of split my time between two guidance counselors and then the gym teacher. So I would say my main point of contact is Carla Doolin. She is one of the guidance counselors there. I work a lot with her one on one, and then we also work with students. And she kind of has like wrote me in and let me take like a leadership role on. So she just does the basic things that a normal guidance counselor would do. Same with Amanda Kelly. They both work closely with students. They split their grades. So Carla works more with like the first, second, and third, and then Amanda is fourth and fifth. And then I also have been working with Danielle McGuire, who is the gym teacher. Um, and she actually ended up going on maternity leave. So now I'm also working with this other woman as well. So I've had a lot of experience working with different people and connecting and trying to understand how people do their jobs differently.
Great.
For my role, so through guidance, I assist the guidance counselors with students' social and emotional needs. I help mediate peer conflicts and support students' well-being, and then work one-on-one with students who need extra help. I've also got to help out with a few classroom lessons. There's been some like girl drama in the typical fourth grade, so it's been nice to have to like kind of step up, and they know like I'm more tech savvy, you could say. So I've been able to put some presentations together and then present them to classes, which has been really nice. And then in gym, I kind of just help out. It's more like for me, I like to observe. My goal is to become a sports psychologist. So working at the school has allowed me to combine psych and like the guidance and how they work with kids at a young level, and then also how children are handling being in gym at a younger age. And it's honestly been really interesting to see, even from like different grades to boys versus girls. So it's been giving me that hands-on experience that has really been helpful, and I get to observe the students' behaviors, emotions, and interactions. So it's been really good. Some of the challenges, um, I would say managing student conflicts, especially peer friendship issues. It's hard to know your boundaries and what you can say, what you can't say, and also like knowing whether or not your supervisor has that trust in you. It's definitely gotten easier as time progresses, but in the beginning, I would say it was hard, like learning when I could speak and when I couldn't, and I didn't want to overstep. So another challenge for me has been not having a set schedule. So I go on Tuesdays and Fridays, and I kind of just show up and then go whereas I'm needed. So I'll go to guidance for a few hours and to the gym and then back to guidance. So that's been a little bit hard, but also in the same way rewarding, teaching me like flexibility and how to go on a schedule that isn't going to be set all the time. And then for what I like so most so far, I've definitely built relationships with some of the students who already I can tell like feel very comfortable with me, and that's been a really rewarding feeling. And then also with the guidance counselors as well, they have already found me great resources and know some sports psychologists. And so even though this isn't necessarily a sports psychologist internship, it's connected me to multiple people and allowed me to get a lot more experience that I wouldn't have got. Um, and also having a different variety every day is different, which I think has been really good for me, learning on the fly And then, yeah, that's just connection making. So thank you.
Excellent. Thank you. All right. Next up. Right.
So the site that I'm doing my internship at is the John F. Kennedy Middle School in Woburn, Mass. And they're dedicated to creating a safe and engaging environment where students can develop to their full potential, implementing high quality research based curricula, including Project Lead the Way and ensuring high expectations for all learners, fostering strong partnerships with families in the community to support student growth, and providing a whole student approach that addresses academic, social, and emotional needs. The population at this site is middle school aged kids, so they work with 6th through 8th graders. Uh, this site is a public school, so honestly, there's so many different types of staff with so many different certifications. But there's teachers for all subjects from 6th to 8th grade. There's admin, reading teachers, skill teachers. There's BCBAs, school psychologists, adjustment counselors, clinical psychologists, and therapeutic teachers. My supervisor is Amy Rich. She's the BCBA at the middle school. And before working at the middle school, she worked in ABA services, and also worked at a collaborative site. She provides safety care training and behavior observations, behavior plans, and works alongside teachers and students to create a better school environment for everyone. Um, My role as an intern really changes day to day. So I'm there Mondays and Wednesdays. And Mondays can look totally different from Wednesdays depending on how the kids are feeling, where they are emotionally, mentally. So some days I do office space, organizational tasks like printing, laminating, cutting, organizing IEPs, but then I also have days that I'm more hands-on with the students and I'm more classroom based. So I take walks with students, I sit with them while they do their work, just kind of working to build a rapport with them so that they trust me, and also collaborating with staff to determine best approach for students. I also walk students to class, work on communicating and helping students to understand challenges that they might be experiencing. And I've also read lots of behavior reports and help staff to format point charts for students. So I chose this site because I knew I wanted to work with kids. And obviously, kids are in school Monday to Friday. And honestly, I didn't really want to work in a school. That was something that, like, I had said going into the internship search. Um, And then I also said, like, I can't say I don't want to work in a school if I've never worked in one. And honestly, I'm so grateful for this experience. It's honestly been so much better than I could have expected. And I've honestly loved being there and I look forward to going there every day. So just kind of having that shift in mindset was really cool. Some challenges that I had were definitely when I first started at the site. I think it's definitely challenging to kind of feel out of place and not really know when to talk and speak up. And also, the kids take a little bit to come around to you, like you're a new person in their day to day life. And so they don't really trust you. So just kind of showing up consistently and being there and just like slowly kind of talking and having more conversations with the kids and staff, has definitely pushed me and challenged me to experience new things and also feel comfortable and confident, like speaking up and also just kind of being able to start conversations with kids who might be on the quiet side. What I like most about this site, um, obviously was surprise of like realizing that I really enjoyed it, but also just kind of building a rapport with the kids and kind of being able to see them like open up more to me and like want to talk to me and like even having students request me to go on walks with them or to meet with them or do something with them has been really great. Thank
Great.
you.
Thank you. Okay.
Hi everyone, my name is Renee Hewitt and I'm presenting on my internship site Coaching for Change, also referred to as C4C. So C4C is a nonprofit that connects college students to mentoring positions at underserved school districts. We work with elementary, middle, and high schools throughout Massachusetts and Rhode Island. And the goal is to train college students to provide academic and social emotional learning for students. Our mission statement is empowering college students to ignite change for the next generation. I think our mission statement really helps show how caring the program is and also just how hands-on it is. So we mostly work with underserved, high-need, low-income, and marginalized communities and districts. Usually districts who may not have the resources or staffing to fully support their students in the way they want. Um, this can also include alternative schooling. For example, I intern at a charter school for students who may have previously dropped out or felt unwelcomed at their other school and want a second chance at learning. So here are some of our staff members. Unfortunately, I did not have room to include everyone, but here are a few. So we have Marcus Taylor, who's the Chief Executive Officer, Deanna Lopez, who's the program's Operations Coordinator, Pete Berman, the Chief Operating Officer, Nariah Benjamin, a college coordinator, and Jordan Price, who is a college partnership coordinator. I mostly work with Nariah because she oversees our Massachusetts branch of Coaching for Change and goes directly to student sites to do check-ins. So the specific school that I intern at is Phoenix Charter Academy in Lawrence. The Phoenix Charter Academy Network operates schools that challenge resilient, systematically marginalized students with rigorous academics and relentless supports. So they take ownership of their futures and succeed in high school, college, and as self-sufficient adults. So my specific role at Phoenix High School is as a mentor slash tutor, kind of like a TA. I work primarily with Humanities 1 students. So some of my jobs are to distribute classroom supplies. Not all of our students have access to school supplies, so we make sure that any supplies that they would need are directly there for them in the classroom. I mostly work one-on-one with students. This can include helping with the writing, typing, brainstorming, or editing their papers, just pretty much any step of their writing process. Emotional check-ins on students. So if a student has their head down or they seem really off, we want to make sure they're doing okay. And I also do something called data tracking, where I take notes about student progress or make observations, and then I put all of that information in a Google Sheet and turn it into numbers or data so that we can see if the student is progressing, regressing, staying in the middle, just kind of how we see how they're doing overall. So why I chose C4C, my goal in the future is to become a therapist for youths. I think therapy and counseling is important for anyone of any age, but adolescence is a unique and often scary period of life. So I think it's important to make sure our youths feel seen and listened to. And I really appreciate how Coaching for Change is making that step to ensure a successful and safe future for all students. So there is a couple of challenges with this site. There is a bit of a lack of structure. You might kind of feel like you're getting thrown in at first. You usually need to make your own jobs or responsibilities. It's pretty independent. Um, this is kind of random, but also parking can be a little confusing. So it's good to make sure that you check in with your supervisor or coach about where to park if you're driving yourself or to give yourself extra time on your first day. I know I needed to do that. Another challenge is choosing internship hours. Since C4C partners with a bunch of different schools, every school is going to have different schedules or hour requirements. For example, at my site, I'm required to work 10 hours per week, Monday through Thursday. Might need to rearrange your school schedule, but I had to. So because of that, it requires good time management and planning. What I like about it is I think it's a very welcoming organization. All the staff members they mentioned previously are available for support or questions. They're always an email away, which I appreciate. It's pretty flexible for the most part. If you need to make any changes, most sites are understanding and accommodating. Most importantly, watching student progress is extremely rewarding. I love connecting with students throughout the semester and seeing them grow and learn each day. And I really enjoy being able to reflect on it through data tracking and see it through like a quantifiable amount. And I'm also just really happy I get to make my first step into my dream career.
Mm.
And that's my site, Coaching for Change. Thanks for listening.
Thank you. Okay, Sophia's up next. All right.
Hi. So I'm at SEAM Collaborative, specifically the Assessment and Intervention Center that's in Wilmington. So it's like about 20 minutes away. It's not too bad of a commute. And then this is just the like sign thing for it. And like their motto is creating successful futures. Okay, so the population that I serve is I work in the elementary school classroom, but at the specific assessment and intervention center, we have elementary school through high school. We have three different classrooms. So the children who come to the assessment and intervention center have been flagged either by their parents or by their school district as being in need of psychological and school-based analysis and testing. The classroom that I work in can have like 4 to 5 children at a time. Usually four is a bit better just because of the different behaviors and different needs of the kids, ranging, oh, I have a spelling error here, in ages 6 to 10. So in my classroom, but then like I said, there's a middle school and there's a high school classroom also. The employees, since it's such a small site, it's very like interconnected. Everybody kind of works like in the same classrooms and stuff. So I work with two special education teachers. One of them is my supervisor. Then we have one middle school age teacher, one high school age teacher. We have two clinical psychologists who meet with the kids one-on-one like a few times a week, come in for analysis, like check-ins, observation times and stuff. We have two paraprofessionals, and then we have 4 graduate interns, which has been really helpful for me figuring out what I want to do after. They're all there getting, one of them is underneath the clinical psychologist, and I think she's getting her PhD or her PsyD, and then 3 of them are getting their master's in social work. So it's been really nice being able to talk to them and just kind of figure out like what it's like after graduation and stuff. Okay, so my supervisor, her name's Gina Francis, and she's a special education teacher. She has her master's in special education, and she's worked at SEAM's Assessment and Intervention Center for 7 years. So she's been there for a really long time. She's super experienced. Like she's moved buildings with them. She's really good at what she does. She's safety care certified, which means like hands-on, like if kids are like being physically aggressive. She's certified in handling and managing that, which is very helpful for being in the classroom. Difficult for me because I'm not trained in that and a few other teachers aren't, so I have to like leave the classroom when anything gets escalated like that, just so I'm keeping myself safe because that would be a liability for them. Okay, so in the classroom, I function just as the role of a teacher. I manage classroom organization, such as like organizing papers and assignments, and assignment preparation. I also help manage behaviors on a smaller scale, with redirections and assisting with other children while like one is having a meltdown. And then I also help the kids complete their assignments throughout the day. I feel like my role has kind of changed as I've been there. At the beginning, I was more observing and just kind of figuring out like how to interact with the specific children because we have like ranging from nonverbal autistic to just like really high ADHD. So like we have such a drastic range of kids in the classroom that I'm not, and I haven't necessarily worked with those populations yet. So I feel like sitting there observing and seeing how they're learning how to interact with them and then allowing myself to learn how to interact with them and just trial and error has been really helpful. And then they don't have prep times like during the day. So I've found that like organizing and helping them like prepare the lessons that they have and like cutting things, stapling like books together like has been really helpful for them and getting through their day smoother too. I chose this internship site because I really want to work with the behavioral population and kids, along with just like elementary age students. I really love that age range. I feel like there's so many developmental levels that you get through in that small short span of time. I'm passionate about early childhood intervention, and I didn't know that places like the Assessment Intervention Center existed before this, which is really interesting. I told my supervisor that. She's like, I didn't know this either until I started working here. I'm like, yes, this is super cool. Because this is really something that I've always wanted to do. Like, look at kids, see what's like what they need, what's going wrong, and then like sending them to a better school that fits better for them. I think it's really important, and I hope that there's like continues to be more places like this because the drastic changes that I've even just seen in working with like kids for like a short amount of time is amazing and like seeing the huge like I'm able to read the long write-ups like their behavioral write-ups and analysis and stuff that the clinicians do, which is really helpful for like my future behavioral analysis and then also just like being able to see like what I'm observing and versus what they're observing and like comparing it and seeing what I need to learn. Challenges. The classroom can be boring at times just due to the low amount of students and the high amount of teachers. At times, there's like six like of us in there. Like it'll be me, two of the special education teachers, and then a clinician, a paraprofessional. Um, so it ends up, there's like two kids in the classroom if like one's out or two are out, and they're constantly switching. So I feel like finding something to do. Sometimes I'll just sit there and I'll color. I have like we're all women who work there, so we have like a good relationship with each other. So we'll just sit and conversate. Um, but that's kind of a thing. Like we're kind of always just sitting in the classroom or going like with the kids. There's also drastically different behaviors and neurodivergence amongst the children, creating a tense classroom when they don't all mix well. Um, like you can have one kid who is quite physically aggressive, and then we have like another kid who isn't physically aggressive, and then we have like a nonverbal student, and I have to like take all of those kids out of the classroom to a different room when someone's having a meltdown. So that tends to be challenging, but not challenging in a bad way, just in a different way of something I haven't necessarily experienced before. And then yeah, so physical and verbal aggression toward teachers. Like I said, I'm not care certified, so I don't have to like deal with that physically, but it is just something that's difficult to navigate and interesting to navigate. And also, you have to learn what sets the certain children off and what doesn't. What I like about it, I love everything about it so far, honestly. The people I work with are amazing. Like I said, I have a great relationship with them. They're very kind and open to helping me learn as much as possible. I'll go over and I'll ask them questions about stuff, ask them for corrections, and they're really good at like just being laid back. Like nothing I ever do is wrong because we're all sitting there and learning. These are all kids that are only there for like 40 days at a time for the assessment. So it's not like they've been there all year. I'm also able to talk to the interns about the graduate programs. And I love just seeing different personalities of children and figuring out like what specific needs they require and like how they all mesh together in the classroom.
Great. All right. Thank you. Okay. All right. Like that.
So, my internship, oh, I see that I misspelled something too. Oh, but my internship is on campus, but it's also located in the scan lab. And then our mission statement is we strive to create, let me close this. We strive to create a lab that values and fully includes individuals from diverse backgrounds, identities, beliefs, values, perspectives, experiences, and ideas. The lab is committed to creating a trusting and collaborative environment where diversity will be respected, including differences in race, religion, class, sexual orientation, gender, and identity, age, body type, disability, and psychological struggle. We seek to recruit, train, and support individuals from diverse backgrounds and those from historically unrepresented groups. Research even suggests that diverse labs can be more successful. It is our duty as scientists to provide an inclusive environment that respects and represents the world in which we study and hope to provide possible interventions from. For this is a collaborative, open, and inter iterative process where we are continuously trying to obtain this inclusive goal within our lab. We acknowledge that we will make some mistakes as we all do, but we must learn and take the corrective actions. So my population is the college students on Merrimack campus because I can't do any studies or do my internship outside of just the population of Merrimack students. So my staff roles, I have Professor Sychik as the person that oversees my internship. So basically, she oversees the data collection process, helps make sure the experiment runs smoothly. Um, but most importantly, she helps us to understand the field of sports psychology from all different aspects, whether that's like teaching in the classroom if I wanted to become a teacher, um, if I wanted to run experiments and collect data, and so forth and so on. My role is data collection, data entry, and running the experiment as well. And then my partner, Sydney, we have the same role as well. So this is Professor or Dr. Cetrick. Dr. Allison Cetrick is an associate
Mhm.
is an associate professor from psychology. Her research focuses on the mechanisms involved in various behaviors and motivational processes. Oriented her process oriented approach allows her to understand how and helps her to understand how and to then create interventions to prevent negative influences or enhance positive influences on behavior. So my role as an intern is training, data collection, data entry, and then for career development, we're researching graduate programs for me to attend and reading articles to learn more about becoming a sports psychologist, and then also finding new articles that I find interesting and discussing them together. Um, why I chose this placement is because um, this internship would help me to understand why I want to become a sports psychologist, but also to see if I would want to be, if I want to collect data during this, or seeing what it actually requires but more importantly, learning about it as a whole, because I only got like a little bit of the background of sports psychologists. So the reason of me reading the articles and like she's helping me to understand what actually a sports psychologist does in their everyday life. So at first my challenge was being able to do my internship every week due to basketball, but now since the basketball season is over, I've been going multiple days throughout the week. But now I think my biggest challenge is me actually getting people to know about the experiment that I'm conducting, which is the golf experiment. And then what I like so what I like most about my internship is um, being able to not just worried about coming in and running the experiments and collecting data, but I'm also like being able to learn more about sports psychology and seeing what if that's what I want to become or seeing a different route I can take with sports psychologists as well as becoming a sports psychologist, but a different route like coaching. So we've been researching grad programs as I mentioned before that will that will align with what I see myself doing in the long term. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Okay. Now we got Maggie. Right.
Hi, my name is Maggie, and my internship is at the RISE program at Franklin Elementary School, right down the street in North Andover. For the mission statement, I said our mission is to provide an inclusive and welcoming environment where every special needs student gets the opportunity to learn and grow. We strive to inspire students to reach their full potential in order to thrive academically, emotionally, and socially. So for the staff, the main supervisor is Deborah Swenson. She has her MED, BCBA, and LABA, and she's the head classroom teacher in Rise 1. And the other staff who's in the classroom consists of teaching assistants and other people who have their masters of education and some paraprofessionals. So for the population, so the RISE program is 3 different classrooms in Franklin Elementary School, which have children in grades 1 to 5 who are on the autism spectrum and a range of special needs. Some including nonverbal and some just severely have ADHD and stuff like that. So for the roles of my internship, at first I just kind of observed and got to know the kids and got to know how the classroom really ran. There's about 8 students in each classroom, and I'm specifically in Rise 1. But as the time went on, I started to be able to assist the students with tasks, help them with artwork when the art teacher comes in. I got to work with them one-on-one doing their schoolwork and also keeping track of their data, which has been really fun and interesting. And also helping just with classroom support, setting up activities and preparing materials they need for the schoolwork. Why I chose the RISE program was because I want to work with children in the future, specifically doing child psychology. So this site is able to give me a preview into what I might be doing later in life and help me understand what could be expected of me. Some of the challenges that some people might face during this internship is just getting to really know the kids. Obviously, there's a range of students in the classroom, so it can be hard to get to know them in a short amount of time without overstepping and getting to know them based on what triggers them and what doesn't. And also, what I really liked about this internship is being able to get out of my comfort zone and seeing what I could possibly be doing in the future.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. All right. Got our final presenter. There you go.
Okay, so this is my internship, Be Well with SEL. It's a social emotional learning program. So our mission statement is developing and delivering social emotional learning lessons and workshops to support students' mental and behavioral health. The population served is elementary school children, students who struggle with emotional and behavior challenges, and children who may have difficulty expressing or managing their feelings. This is my supervisor. Her name is Kristen Parodi. She is the founder of SEL. She's a licensed school psychologist and counselor. over 15 years of experience in the public school system, and she's also the author of the children's book Shark and His Visitors, a book about big feelings. Okay, so my role is to help keep the space clean and organized, talk to children and guide them when they are making poor choices, and help create a safe, welcoming, and comfortable environment. Okay, why this internship? I chose this internship because I enjoy working with children. I want to learn more about emotions and how kids express them, and I want a hands-on experience in a real setting, and I like helping others, making a positive difference in kids' lives. So some challenges I have is gaining confidence in a professional setting, knowing what to say or do in difficult situations, and figuring out the best way to communicate with each child. Um, so working with the kids and developing relationships with them is what I enjoy most about my internship so far. I like helping kids understand and beneficially communicate their feelings. And watching their development over time and seeing how they begin to improve is rewarding, and makes me feel like I'm accomplishing something. And I also enjoy picking up new skills and learning from the professionals. So overall, I enjoy being in a positive environment where I feel like I'm making a difference. That's it.
Great. Thank you. Okay, I am going to stop sharing. And I wanted to make sure I answered any questions or people have questions for um, students that they are able to ask those. I don't know if anyone has questions. You can either ask the question or you can put it in the chat. So I'll give everybody a minute, see if any questions come through. Okay. Anybody? No questions? Okay. Well, thank you all so much for sharing about your internships. That was really awesome and helpful. Hopefully, for people watching, they're able to see some places that might be of interest to them. And then, if you have any other questions about any of these sites, you can just reach out to me and let me know. So, thanks so much, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your day.